Good day and welcome to this first segment of a week at the plot, and it's Thursday afternoon. It's been a right old busy week so far with lots of kerfuffle and not a lot of headspace, though I was really pleased to be able to get down here this afternoon. And I wanted a peaceful job, and I also wanted a productive job. So I have given this apple tree, which we still have no idea what variety it is, a really good prune. It was getting a tad too high. We have been managing it over the last sort of 3, 4, 5 years, but it was getting a tad too high and we needed to bring that canopy down a touch. So we have done that. And then, of course, I've gone in, as I was doing last week with the pruning that I was doing, dead wood, crossing wood, dying wood, diseased wood, and any of that came out. And where I was taking crossing branches out, I was looking at which was the strongest, which of the crossing branches was the strongest, and which of the ones were going in the right direction as well. Or in the direction that I thought it would be best for the tree for it to grow. So even if it was the weaker one, if it was growing in the right direction and wasn't going to be crossing another branch in a few years' time, I left the weaker one in and cut the stronger one out. Because if the strong one was just being strong and crossing lots of other branches, it was going to be doing no good whatsoever. So yeah, there we are. That is a job well done. Pretty happy with that. I can't believe it's Thursday afternoon already, and nearing the end of Thursday afternoon. It must be about 5:15 now. I didn't get down here till about 4 o'clock, something like that. I didn't know what I was going to do, and then I looked at the apple tree and I thought, yeah, I'm going to prune that. And it's just been like 10 days of pruning. That's exactly what it's been. Oh, there's a red kite there. Oh, wow. Whoa. They are just amazing. I mean, they really are. To think that we have, what's the word? Well, we've got peregrine falcons, we've got red kites, and we got sparrowhawks as well. And it's just sort of extraordinary, seeing them flying. And buzzards, we've got buzzards as well. And we got hare that just flies everywhere as well. I'm rocking that sort of mad professor look at the moment. And yeah, that's fine. I don't really care. So I love doing that job this afternoon. I needed something really productive but peaceful. And it's been that. And actually there's been quite a few planes coming out from Heathrow, but they haven't been that noisy, which is really good, so I've just got on and done the job. I'm not sure what the rest of the week will bring. I'm just looking around thinking what I'll be doing. I'm not sure. I still need to tie in the cultivated blackberry that's here. I'm spying my neighbour's quince that they've got on their plot and thinking that maybe that needs a little bit of pruning, so I might see if they'll allow me to do that and get in touch with them and ask them. So I might do that, but whatever, I'll be getting on and doing something. One thing I have to do, and I mean have to do, is look in my seed box for flower seeds, because I know I've got quite a few. I don't usually sow flower seeds, as you know, or not in numbers, but because a good 3 half beds and 3 edge beds are going to be flowers this year. I need to check the flower seeds, because of course what I want to do is I want to sow them now so that they're flowering in the summer. or soon, so that they're flowering in the summer. However, I don't know if I've got the seeds to do that. I think we've got cosmos and things, so I think that will be fine. But also, because our weather is really getting chill again for the next couple of weeks at least, certainly into like the 6th, 7th, 8th, even 9th, 10th of March, it's going to be quite cold at night with a few negative temperatures, -2, possibly -3. I think that -4 I was talking about, I don't think that's forecast anymore, but it's certainly colder. I've actually got a t-shirt on. I've got 2 t-shirts, but I haven't got a long t-shirt or a thermal, and as I'm standing here now, my arms are feeling a little bit cold in that breeze that we do have, because yeah, it's chilly and the nights are much colder than they were this time last week, let's say. I think we're just really getting back to the usual temperatures for this time of year. What we had earlier in February were temperatures which were above average. So yeah, I think we just got back down to usual temperatures. But of course, what we're then thinking is that it's a bit chilly, but not as chilly as a lot of other places. I know that. But yeah, I'm happy to have got that tree done today. There's a lot more space in the middle of it, a lot more air will be able to flow through easily. And we know it's a bit diseased. Looking at it, I think it might actually be nearing the end of its life. It might only have maybe a few years left. So I think it was good giving it a good prune and taking down the height, because hopefully that will give it some space to be able to recover and not have to put out so much growth all around. So yeah, fingers crossed for this year. I hope, as we normally do, we'll have a really good blossom, because it is beautiful when it blossoms. And we do have that cherry blossom at the bottom of our road where our home is, and it's looking glorious. But that you saw last week, but I was admiring it when I was coming back down today. Anyway, I'm going to go home for a warming cup of tea. So I will see you another day for further segments of A Week at the Plot. And because it's Thursday, I'll see you very, very, very soon. See you then. Bye. Good day and welcome to this Saturday segment of A Week at the Plot, which has been my first seed sowing of this calendar year. So I did sow some leeks, as we know, back on Christmas Day. We've got broad beans which have been sown outside, and we've got garlic in as well. But I've got a variety of turnip and a variety of beetroot which are pretty hardy and can be sown in February, and therefore what I've decided to do is sow them in modules, because I really like sowing things in modules, the beetroot, turnips in modules, and then putting them out. And in this case they're cluster sown, so several seeds, maybe 3, 4, even 5 turnip seeds are sown in one module, and then they grow as a cluster. And then, as you've seen me do, you just turn them when they're in the ground, obviously, and they have grown to full size. You turn them and pull them out one by one, so you don't need to take the whole cluster out in one go. That means that you can take the larger turnips and beetroot out and harvest them, leaving smaller ones in with their roots in the ground, so that they can continue growing, and then you can harvest them when they're ready. And I just wanted to have that nice quiet job to do. We've still got cold temperatures at night. We're dipping down again to maybe 1 degree, 0 degree, -1 degree at the moment, and in the polytunnel those will be fine. In fact, the red beetroot and the turnips can both be sown outside at this time of year where we are, though I want to give them a bit of a better start than that, because what I'm hoping for is early harvests of beetroot and the type of turnip that I have sown. So yeah, I'm really pleased to have got that job done today. As you can see, I'm now in the shed. It got too sunny in the polytunnel to actually carry on filming, so I've decamped to here instead. And actually, after a bit of a kerfuffle of decamping here, the sun has gone behind a cloud again, so I could have waited and continued in the poly. But anyway, never mind. I've been waiting to do that job for a couple of weeks. Both are a variety that can be sown early, as I say. They're pretty robust, and I'm trying to get a little ahead with that sowing. Normally, I mean, I have sown this early before and done well. Because we've still got quite a lot of cold to come by the weather forecast at least, I am sort of hedging my bets a bit with this sowing. I am hoping, because we have a shorter period of time growing here, that those will do well and they'll be able to be planted out by beginning of April, maybe, fingers crossed, beginning of April, middle of April, and we'll be getting harvests into May, the end of May, I'm hoping for. But the seed that I've sown today is seed that I've had a couple of years. We've got other seed which is new seed that I only got at the back end of last year. So if those sowings that I've done today come to nothing, I haven't really lost anything, because I can use the composts again if they come to nothing, and the seeds, if they aren't viable, you know, I've not lost anything. I'm sure the seeds are viable, because by keeping them in a plastic airtight container in our fridge, we find that the viability of our seeds is really prolonged now. You know, with brassicas, and of course, you know, some of those are brassicas, the turnips are brassicas. We know that that seed can last for a good 10 years or so, and certainly that seed that I've sown today is most probably only about 2 or 3 years old, maybe 4 years in terms of the beetroot. So yeah, I'm sure that they will germinate, and I'm sure we'll get a crop from them. But as I say, if they don't, or we get a cold snap and the seedlings succumb to frost, then I will just be resowing, and we'll have hedged our bets but lost on this occasion. But fingers crossed we don't. Anyway, that's it for today. And of course, I have watered the poly as well. We've got some nice salad crops coming on there, not as many as I'd hoped, because quite a few succumbed to the frosts over the winter. but the spinach and the chard that we were given by our neighbours, which was behind me in the filming that I was doing in the poly, I think I'm going to put some of those, which are in modules still, into the into one of the beds in the polytunnel. So I think I'll do that most probably tomorrow. Now that I've given the bed in the polytunnel a good water, I think I'll be planting more in to it tomorrow. We'll see, won't we? We'll see. Anyway, don't ramble, Paul. Just move on and say goodbye. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say goodbye, and I will see you again tomorrow for a final segment of A Week at the Plot. Bye. Good day. I had a rummage in my seed box in the fridge this morning, and I came across these packets of seed, all of which have been opened, and some have had seed sown previously. And I thought what I'd do is scratch these into the surface of a couple of the beds here where I want flowers to grow this year. It will be an initial sowing, and because these are old seed, I'm not sure quite how viable they will be, but I'm hoping that at least some of them will germinate and start growing quite well. Though of course we've got quite a bit of cold weather still to come, and I know that sort of cosmos likes a little bit of heat to get it going. But we've got cosmos, 2 poppies, chamomile, calendula, which I was given by Vivi a few years ago, and this wild poppy over here. And what I'm going to do is just put all of the seeds into this white tub, mix them all together, and then get a rake, rough up the surface of the soil, the beds where I want these to be scattered over, and then scatter them and roughly just rake them in. So let me just get on and do that. As you can see, it's pretty sunny at the moment. I hope that it stays that way whilst I get on and do this. I had enough of all the seeds for this bed and this bed, but this bed over here didn't get very many calendula seeds, so I'm going to open another packet next week and scrub some into the compost or the soil in that bed. But yeah, we'll see how these seeds fare. We've got some cold coming up. I mean, it's cold now, you know, in the sun it's not too bad, but when you're not in the sun it's cold. And something that seems to be harbouring from the cold a little bit, can you see that caterpillar in there? It's on the outside of the fleece. It's quite hairy and not moving, so I hope it's okay. Oh, but everything is so dry. I mean, it really is. We haven't had any decent rain for quite a while. You can see how sunny it is. Look at that. But yeah, the brassicas, I'm going to need to get water from the communal water butts here and give them a watering tomorrow, I think, because I scratched around the surface earlier on, and yeah, they need moisture because there's no moisture in the top sort of 4 inches of that soil. Of course, their roots go down a bit further, but they take an awful lot of water and nutrients from the top 4 inches of the soil, so I need to make sure that I do give them some water. Yeah. Next week, I think it's going to be a bit of a tidying week. So we've had a lot of pruning over the last 10 days, 12 days, a little bit of seed sowing, and I think there's going to be a bit more tidying going on next week, particularly in that corner by the shed. I had expected to be here earlier in the day, but Richard and I decided to sort out one of our understairs cupboards, the large understairs cupboard. And it's been a day of doing that job, really, going through everything in there. That's where we've got a fridge freezer as well. We're going through everything in there and deciding whether we wanted to keep it, to pack it properly, to free cycle it or trash nothing it, to give it away to some neighbours in terms of a few things we had there, or just pop into the recycle bin. We've had lots of boxes over the years and we thought, oh, we'll keep that box, it may come in handy, but they never have. So they've gone into the recycling today. And I also did a really nice corn mince and lentil bolognese, which I'm taking some of it to a friend because we're at hers for dinner this evening. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But that's it for this week's A Week at the Plot. A late visit on this Sunday afternoon down here, but you know what, the sun is absolutely glorious, and I think it's better than it was earlier in the day. So I think I've got a good part of the day to have been able to get down here. So now I'm just going to spend about 5 minutes just walking around and pondering things that need doing for next week. See you very soon. Bye.